This is a very big problem that the students face. I'm telling you again, had simply getting the PDF been plateau. Precisely, categorically and carefully. And drawing and revising them, you will realize that all the mountains, ranges, lakes, rivers, whatever is required, you'll be able to cover them very beautifully and in a very proper and a precise manner. Please understand, many people think that what is the need for doing maps? Remember, close to 4 to 5 questions minimum every year come from the maps. That means close to 10 to 12 marks in your civil services examination, where already the cutoff is going down. Can you understand the importance? Simply doing this 7 classes or lectures of these mapping, if you are out of those 6 questions, if you are able to attempt, let us say 5 questions also, if on an extreme case, let us say 4 questions also, getting that 8 marks extra, does it not help you in qualifying the prelims? That is the most important thing. Please understand that very, very carefully. You have to be careful about gaining that one single mark, how you can avoid getting or making those mistakes. So please do this very seriously. Often a very neglected section. Often people put the photographs from Google in front of you, and that is why it becomes difficult to analyze also. I've drawn everything by hand so that you basically are able to comprehend it well and draw it yourself also. That is important, right? Okay. Now comes the major plateaus. Now, please understand, when I was talking about Western Cordillera, you remember that I told you that there are a lot of plateaus also present. That is why parallel mountain ranges with intervening plateaus is known as intervening plateaus, and other features are known as a cordillera. So that is why these are the Rockies, these are the other mountain ranges, and along with them you have what? You have these plateaus, right? So I have covered all the important plateaus that are present here. You do not have to go beyond that at all. Now see here. If you see, Over here lies the Yukon Plateau. Now this is a rugged plateau, right? Eroded also. This is important from the perspective that, from a human geographical perspective, that gold mining was done on a very extensive scale over here, and even done in today's time also. So it has abundance of gold. That is why this plateau is important. It is very similar when we talk about the plateau regions in India, Chotanagpur Plateau and all these regions are full of minerals, important minerals. Similarly, if you see in these regions also, these are very important sources of the minerals. If you move little south over here, you have the British Columbian Plateau. Now, British Columbian Plateau again is heavily forested, though mining has been done, and copper, gold, and coal is also found over here. Again, majorly if you have the Columbian Plateau or the Columbia Plateau. Now, it is again, there's a very important river that is flowing on this plateau, that is the Columbian River. Again, it is causing erosion also. Wheat cultivation is done on a large scale. Now, there is a very important dam that is along the Columbian Plateau on the Columbian River. That is the with respect to size, but it is a very important dam with respect to the production of electricity that it does. It is one of the top with respect to the production of electricity. Please remember that. That is why Grand Coulee Dam you should be well aware of, which is located on the Columbian River. Columbian River is basically crossing the Columbian Plateau. You move further south, you have the Colorado Plateau over here. Now, Colorado Plateau is again a very important region. Why? Because you know that a Colorado River is flowing there, and then a very important geographical feature or an erosional feature, that is the Grand Canyon that is present here. So if you want to visit the Grand Canyon, you're going to basically visit the Colorado Plateau, and you will be seeing how Colorado River is cutting across those various plateau and how the features are being formed. So Grand Canyon is present here, Colorado River. Again, over here, important thing is copper, uranium, and coal is also found here. Copper, uranium, and coal is also found here. That is why it becomes really very, very important. So these are the regions which are present. These are the plateaus on the western side. Now, if you come to the eastern side, you will be seeing, again, over here also you have the Mexican Plateau. Now, between the eastern and the western Sierra Madre, you have the Mexican Plateau. Now, this is a high plateau. That means the height is relatively higher. Densely populated region. Along with it, agriculture is practiced around the surrounding region, and silver is also found here. So this is again important characteristics. You have the Ozark Plateau, which is basically on the western side of the Appalachian Mountains. It is a very ancient plateau. It is heavily eroded, but there are lead and zinc as minerals or important minerals are basically found here. If I move further south, please understand there are a lot of interpretations. Sometimes certain books mention the Laurentian Plateau as equivalent to Canadian Shield, right? Some say Canadian Shield / Laurentian Plateau. Certain books have mentioned that. But certain books like NCERT have mentioned that Laurentian Plateau is a part of the Canadian Shield as a whole. So I am using that classification. So Laurentian Plateau is over here. It is a Precambrian, again, structure. Nickel, iron, uranium, and gold are found here. Now, these are the most important, or almost on an extensive scale, we have covered almost all the plateaus that are present here. And this is what is required by you for the civil services. Note it down. You can pause the video and note this down. Again, very, very important. Please, I am reminding you one more thing. If you are neglecting the lecture and just waiting from where you can get this PDF and just draw it, I'm telling you, you will be missing on such important things which you can only understand when you're watching the lecture. This is a very big problem that the students face. I'm telling you again, had simply getting the PDF been responsible for you qualifying the civil services, and that is not correct. That is why we always say, at least if whatever the video duration is, 40 minutes, 35 minutes, watch the video. Then try to note it down by seeing that. Obviously, you will get the PDF also, but watch the lecture completely. That is again very important. Having done the major plateaus, let's move ahead. We will consider the major rivers now. See, again, the rivers become important. This river over here, again, please understand, this river is known as the Mackenzie River. This is the longest in Canada. Why I have added these commentaries along with that is because these are the ones which basically UPSC uses. I could have simply mentioned Mackenzie, Yukon, Columbia, Snake, Colorado, and done with it. Why I mention these commentaries? Because these are the points which UPSC basically picks up. And these are the ones which are mentioned in the NCERTs also. The oldest NCERTs in a way. So this Mackenzie is basically the longest river in Canada. You have Yukon. You know the Yukon Plateau also. So Yukon River is basically cutting across the Yukon Plateau. Now it basically drains into the Bering Sea, which is present over here. Then you have the Columbia River. Now the Columbia River again. Cutting or eroding the Colombian Plateau. Now it has a grand coulee dam, as I already mentioned. It is a very important tributary. It is known as the Snake River. You should always remember. They can ask you, Snake River is a tributary of Colorado. No, it is a tributary of Columbia. Now again, an important river over here. This is Colorado. River. Now this cuts through the Grand Canyon. You already know that. Further, if you move over here, if you realize this is an important river that is known as Rio Grande. Now it flows through the New Mexico and drains into the Gulf of Mexico. That is this region, right? Further, if you come here, this is the river. St. Lawrence. This St. Lawrence River basically connects the Great Lakes with the Atlantic Ocean. So important characteristic. This can be asked as a statement also. Now comes the important rivers over here. This is a Mississippi Basin. Now if you see this river, this complete river, this is a Mississippi River. This is the largest river with respect to volume. This is Missouri River. This is the longest river with respect to length, right, in North America. You have certain other tributaries. This is the Ohio, and this is the Tennessee. Now these are again regions where you find a lot of coal deposits, iron ore deposits, water is present here. So that is where these regions over here became very, very important hubs for commercial activities, mining towns, and obviously densely populated. Even today also, these regions are very densely populated and centers of economic activities. So these are what the major rivers of the North American region, or the continent. Pause the video and note it down. Okay, let's move ahead. Now comes the water bodies. Water bodies. What are the important water bodies around it? Please see. If you see over here, you have the Beaufort Sea. right? That is why if you see over here, Mackenzie River is basically draining around this region only, right? So you have the Beaufort Sea. Over here you have the Bering Sea along with the Alaskan state. This is the Gulf of Alaska. You come further south. This particular region is known as Gulf of California. If you move further over here, this is known as the Gulf of Mexico. Further, this particular region is known as the Hudson Bay. Very important fact. Then if you come here, you have the Gulf of St. Lawrence over here. And then towards the northeastern part, you have the Labrador Sea. You move further south, you have the Baffin Bay. Now, these are the important water bodies that you should know. Along with that, please remember, you have the Atlantic Ocean over here. You have the Pacific Ocean here. Again, oceans over here, that should also. Mark. So please pause the video and quickly note it down. Let's move ahead. Major lakes. Now, these are very important lakes that you should be knowing. Okay, now there's an important lake which is known as the Great Bear Lake. Now this Great Bear Lake is the largest lake which is entirely in Canada. Please understand this. The Great Lakes also have parts in United States and India, United States and America, United States and Canada, sorry. But the largest lake which is completely in Canada is Great Bear Lake. Please understand, you can be confused when they ask you that this lake Superior is the largest in Canada. No, because please understand, it is the largest freshwater lake. There is no problem in that. But it has half of it is in United States, half of it is in Canada. So this lake is entirely in Canada. That is why it is the largest entirely in Canada lake. If you move further south, there is a Great Slave Lake. Further south, Great Salt Lake. Now, this is a remnant of a very old lake. That is why the salt content is relatively high over here. That is why it is known as a remnant of a prehistoric lake. Further over here, you have the Lake Chapala. Now, this Lake Chapala in Mexico is the largest freshwater lake in Mexico. You should be aware of this. Now, the Great Lakes. Please understand, this blue color lake is known as Lake Superior. Now, this is the world's largest freshwater lake. Then you have this pink color. This is known as Lake Huron. Red color is known as Lake Ontario. This green color which I've drawn is known as Lake Erie. This purple color is known as Lake Michigan, or Michigan as you say. Now, Michigan is entirely in the United States. It is not in Canada. Other basically share, let us say, have parts in Canada. Lake Erie is the shallowest and the warmest. How do you remember it? SHU, M. Superior, Huron, Ontario, Erie, Michigan. SHU, E. Or SHU, M in a way can be a mnemonic through which you can basically remember it. Okay? So these are the important or the major lakes that you find basically in North America. Let's move ahead. Please pause the video and note it down quickly. Okay. Climate. climatic zones. Now we will be considering or describing the climatic zones in detail, generally from the world perspective when we do climatology in the world geography series. But over here, just for your knowledge, this is a polar zone. Again, most of the time it is covered with snow cover, very low temperatures, and the life is very difficult over here. That is why in Canada, if you see, so Canada is such a huge country. There are very less habitable zones that are present there, or habitable regions. That is why, in spite of having such a large area, it is very difficult to survive in Canada. Then you have the cold zone over here, relatively lesser temperature, though obviously there is snowfall during the winter months. Then you have the temperate zone over here and here. Then you have the desert zone over here, and finally the tropical zone over here. Please understand the complete of North America lies in the northern hemisphere. But again, this lies relatively closer to the equator, relatively, in comparison to the other countries. So that is why it has experiences somewhat like a tropical zone or tropical climate, not completely, but somewhat. So these are the various climatic zones that are present in North America. The polar, the cold, the temperate, the desert, the tropical, right? Now let's move on to the next part, that is the biomes. We will be considering in detail everything when we will doing the biogeographical part of the physical geography. Now see here. Now this is the tundra region. Further below that lies your taiga region. On the western part lies the temperate rainforest. This region are the grasslands that are present over here. Again, that have been commercialized for production of wheat and all. Then you have the temperate deciduous forest here. And this is the desert region that is present. And further south lies your tropical rainforest region. So these are the various biomes that are present in North American continent. Right? Please note it down. Okay. So this was the session of the mapping with respect to the North American continent. We have covered all the dimensions. We have covered the human geography angle also while we were covering the physical divisions of the dimensions. That basically helped you to understand how the physical geography is related to the human geography. We have covered the climatic zones, biomes and all, vegetation. So we have covered it comprehensively. This is what is required for your civil services examination. If you cover them, repeatedly revise them, I am telling you again, there will be not a single question that you will find difficulty with respect to mapping, provided you do it well and revise it well. There might be one or two bouncers that happen, again leave that. Your effort should be to maximize your attempt, and that is correct attempts. Right, and that can be done if you do these things well. So again, we will be coming with the next continent, that is South America, next week. So please revise it, draw it yourself, label it, and you will see for yourself the change with respect to this particular mapping series that is bringing in you. Along with it, we will be coming with the physical geography series next week, and which will be very helpful for you, which will complement you along with this mapping series. So whatever questions that remain will be answered there in the form of, let us say, if you have Appalachians, you have Rockies, how are they created? What has plate tectonics got to do with it? All these things will be covered over there. So please see those geography series along with these mapping series together. God bless you. Take care. Lots of love from my side. And Jai Hind.
Hi everyone, very good evening to all of you. Once again, I welcome you all on the beloved platform of PW Alliance, and this is me, Thomas, in the batch of Pinnacle. And this is here the model of your ancient and medieval. And I hope my voice will be clear to all of you. Audio, video, both will be okay. If the things are okay, just please let me know. If the things are okay, just let me know. Things are okay. Audio, video, both are okay. Everything okay, sir and ma'am? Can you please confirm me so that I could proceed with the session smoothly? Okay. So all good. So let's start. Let's begin a new topic today. And the topic is your Mauryan Empire, right? Mauryan Empire. So we need to discuss the Mauryan Empire, right? So let's start now. So see, yesterday what we had in our discussion, this is the Mauryan Empire that we are going to start with. Okay. Okay. So is the topic. That's what I'm saying. So recap, just a quick recap of the things. I just let you know. Just recap. See what we did yesterday. Yesterday we talked about the Mahajanpadas, right? Janpadas were the large territorial units with elaborated bureaucracy, with a standing army and a proper taxation system. So this was the thing, Sir. So this was your Mahajanpad, right? So they were big territorial units. Now, if I come to this Mahajanpad, right? So there were 16 Mahajanpads, Sir, Madam. There were 16 Mahajanpads. 16 Mahajanpads. Out of the 16 Mahajanpads, Sir and Madam, out of 16 Mahajanpads, one was your Magad. One was Magad. That emerged as the most powerful, emerged as the most powerful Mahajanpad, right? Emerged as the most powerful Mahajanpad. Is it okay? Now, so the emergence of this strongest Mahajanpad was under some dynastic rule. The emergence of this Magad as the most powerful state, emergence of this Magad was under certain dynasties of Magad, right? And these dynasties were Harinka dynasty. Then we had Sishana. dynasty, Shishunag dynasty, and then we had Nanda dynasty, Nanda dynasty, Nanda dynasty. If I talk about the Harinka dynasty, there were three kings for which I had given you a mnemonics that is called Bau, B-A-U. Bau. Bau stands for, B stands for your Bimbisar, A stands for Ajasatru, and U stands for Uday. So this is called your Bau. Now if I come to this, another dynasty, and this dynasty is your Shishunag dynasty. This is Shishunag dynasty, includes SK, where S is Shishunag, and K is Kala Shok. Then finally we have the last dynasty of the Magad Mahajanpan. This was your Nanda dynasty. And here we had to study about the Mahapadmananda, and then we had to talk about the Dhanananda. So we talked about all these kings under the Magad Mahajanpan, right? When there was, this was the time, so madam, this was the time of Dhanananda, that's called the Nanda dynasty. During the time of Nanda dynasty or during the time of Dhanananda, there was a foreign invasion, and this foreign invasion is known as foreign invasion. And this foreign invasion is known as foreign invasion. So madam, foreign invasion. And this foreign invasion was of Greeks, under which we had Alexander. One was your Alexander, so madam, this was your Alexander. Is it okay? So this was your Alexander. So this is your Alexander, so madam. Alexander, right? So madam. Now, if I come to this side, foreign invasion, that is called Alexander. Now, when this was the time of the Harinka dynasty, then there was the first invaders, there was the first invasion of the foreigners, and this invasion is known as the Persian invasion or Iranian invasion, right? So, madam, invasion. So, Iranian invasion was the first foreign invasion on India. First foreign invasion on India. First foreign invasion on India. So, madam, right? This was Iranian invasion. So it was during the time of the Harinka dynasty. When there was the Harinka dynasty, this was the rule of the Bimbisara. Then we had seen this foreign invasion of the Iranian invasion, right? And when this was the time of the Nanda and the ruler was Dhanananda, then we had the invasion of the Greeks, and that is called Greek invasion. This was the second invasion, foreign invasion on India. This was the first foreign invasion on India. This is the second foreign invasion in India, right? And these Iranians had occupied northwest frontier province, today Punjab, Sindh, etc. So Punjab and Sindh were under their control, right? And it was known as a province of. It was the province, became the province of Iran, and this province is known as Iran, or this province was known as Kshatrapi system under the Kshatrap, right? This is called Kshatrap, and it remained till that is called 20th Kshatrapi, remained till the invasion of Alexander, right? Till Alexander. Is it okay? Is it fine? So this was the thing, so madam, right? So here is your Harinka dynasty. Here is your Shishunaga dynasty. Here is your Nanda dynasty. So I believe it would be okay to all of you, right? So there was these things, madam. So Dhanananda, right? So one thing was the foreign invasion, and that invasion was the second foreign invasion on India under the Greeks, and the ruler was Alexander, right? Now, second important thing was in regard to the Dhanananda was its conflict. Dhanananda was known for its conflict with the Chanakya, right? So he was known for his conflict. The another aspect, sir, madam, in regard to this is second Dhanananda, right, sir, madam? So this is what this is, sir, madam. This is called Dhanananda is known for its conflict. Nanda is known for its conflict. Known for its conflict with Chanakya, right? Is it okay? Chanakya. Dhanananda known for its conflict with Chanakya. Is it okay? With Chanakya. Is it okay, sir, madam? It's Chanakya, right? Chanakya. And Chanakya was offended in the hands of the Dhanananda. He had offended Chanakya. Then Chanakya had taken revenge. Chanakya had taken revenge from Dhanananda, and replaced him with the help of Chandragupta Maurya, right, says madam? And this Chandragupta Maurya had established. Chandragupta Maurya had established Mauryan Empire in Magad. So this was the story. Yesterday we made a discussion. So this is the recap of what we have done yesterday. Is it okay? Is it fine? So now we will start with this Mauryan Empire. Are you getting why we are coming to this empire? That's called Mauryan Empire. Because in Magad now there was a dynastic change, and this dynastic change was after the Nanda. This was the Mauryans, and Mauryans were able to create the first empire of India that is known as the Mauryan Empire. I believe it should be okay to all of you. Sir, madam, please let me know. Things are okay? It's all okay, sir, madam? Is it okay? Is it fine, sir, madam? Sure. Now, we're coming to the Mauryan Empire now. So next topic is your Mauryan Empire. See. Mauryan Empire. Mauryan Empire. Mauryan Empire. Is it okay? Mauryan Empire. Now, if I talk about the Mauryan Empire, right? So in Mauryan Empire, what is important? I'm just going to tell you. In Mauryan Empire, sources are very much important. Sources are very important. Sources. To reconstruct the history of the Mauryans, the sources are very much important. There are two types of the sources. One is your literary sources, and other one is your archaeological sources, right? So if I talk about the sources, there are two types of the sources. We had, madam, one is your literary sources. Another one is your archaeological sources. Archaeological sources. Literary sources. And other one is your archaeological sources. Right? These sources are very much important, be it your literary sources or your archaeological sources. So both the sources are quite important. Is it okay, sir, madam? So these are the important ones. Right? If I talk about the literary sources, there are certain books which are important. Sir, madam. Important. Right? One is your Arth Shastra. One is your Arth Shastra of Kautilya. Then another one is your, sir, madam. This is your Indica of Megasthenes. Is it okay? If I come to the next book, that is called Mudra Rakshas of Vishakdat. Besides, we have to name books others like Puranas. Puranas are also important books. Purans are also important. There are too many books. Other than these three books are important. So we just talk about these three important books, and these books are Arthashastra of Kautilya, then Indica of Megasthenes, then Mudra Rakshas of Vishakdatta, right? Now, so we need to discuss all these books in detail because we have certain important information inside, right? If I talk about the archaeological sources, then archaeological sources include what's this, madam? It includes like coins, right? It includes potteries. It may include palace, etc. Archaeological coins, potteries, right? Coins, potteries. Then is your inscriptions. And these inscriptions are very much important. These inscriptions are very, very important. If I talk about the inscription, then we have to talk about inscription of, number one, there's a Ashokan inscription. Ashoka was a king of Mauryan Empire. Ashokan inscriptions are important. Then we had inscriptions of Ashokan inscriptions. Then inscriptions of Chandragupta Maurya is also important. Chandragupta Maurya. Then inscription of Junagadh inscription. Inscription of Shaka king Rudradaman. Right? Is it okay? Shaka king Rudradaman. Is it okay? Ashokan inscription, Chandragupta Maurya inscription, Chandragupta Maurya's inscription. And there's two inscriptions that we need to. These two are. There are two inscriptions of Chandragupta Maurya. This is Mahasthan inscription. And then is your Sahagara inscription. Right? So this is your Mahasthan inscription and this is your Sahagara inscription. These are two inscriptions of Chandragupta Maurya. Is it okay? So why? Two inscriptions that we need to. These two are. There are two inscriptions of Chandragupta Maurya. This is Mahasthan inscription. And then is your Sahagara inscription. Right? So this is your Mahasthan inscription and this is your Sahagara inscription. These are two inscriptions of Chandragupta Maurya. Is it okay? So why we need to talk about all these informations, and this is very important in regard to the Mauryan Empire. That's a very important one in regard to the Mauryan Empire, right? So Arthashastra, Indica, Mudrarakshasa, Puranas, then inscriptions, then Mahasthan, Sahagora inscriptions, etc., and the Junagadh inscriptions. We need to talk about all these things, sir and madam. Is it okay? Is it fine? All okay? All good? Sir and madam. Are you getting my points? Is it clear? All okay? Okay. So now I'm going to start with Arthashastra, then Indica, Mudrarakshasa and all, right? Yeah. So if I talk about the Arthashastra, all okay, all good? Sir and madam. Are you getting my points? Is it clear? All okay? Okay. So now I'm going to start with Arthashastra, then Indica, Mudrarakshasa and all, right? Yeah. So if I talk about the Arthashastra, right? If I talk about the Arthashastra, it is authored by, right? Right? Yeah. So if I talk about the Arthashastra, Arthashastra, right? If I talk about the Arthashastra, it is authored by, Kautilya. And the other name of this Kautilya is Chanakya. He is also known as Vishnugupta. So these three names are of the same person. The three names of the same person, Kautilya, Chanakya and Vishnugupta, right? Vishnugupta. Kautilya, then is Vishnugupta or Chanakya. And then is your Vishnugupta, right? So there's three names for the same person. Is it okay? Is it fine? Now, see here. If I come to the other aspect of this discussion, as the name suggests, Arthashastra, it means it is a book on economics. But surprisingly, this book is not on economics. Name suggests that this book is on economics, but surprisingly, this book is not on economics. Rather, it is on public administration and the statecraft. So this book, the subject matter of this book is statecraft and public administration. So this book was on statecraft and public administration. Is it okay? So this book was on statecraft and public administration. Is it okay? Statecraft and public administration. Authored by Kautilya, Chanakya, Vishnugupta. And this book is on statecraft and public administration. Right, Sister Madam? Right? Is it okay? Now see, there is some more thing that I should tell you that is important to know about. This book is written in both the form, prose and verses. And then there is one more thing that I should write here. This book was rediscovered. When this was written, Sister Madam, it was not in our knowledge. After a long period of time, it was rediscovered. In 1905. Take it right? In 1905, this was rediscovered. It was rediscovered. In 1905. And this was by Sham Sastri. Right? R. Sham Sastri. by a scholar. And his name is R. Sham Sastri. Is it okay? R. Sham Sastri. Is it okay, sir? This is by R. Sham Sastri and it was discovered in 1905. Is it okay? Is it fine? So it was rediscovered in 1905 by scholar R. Sham Sastri. Right? Now, since this book is on political science, that is called statecraft and the public administration. So this book was compared by. This book is compared by. This book is compared by a book, The Prince. Compared by a book, The Prince. Sorry, madam, The Prince. Is it okay? The Prince. So compared by the book, The Prince. And it is authored by an Italian political scientist whose name is Machiavelli. Machiavelli. Authored by Machiavelli. Machiavelli. And therefore, Chanakya is known as Machiavelli of India. Is known as Machiavelli of India. Machiavelli of India. Is it okay? He was just the Machiavelli of India. Is it fine, sir, madam? He was the Machiavelli of India. Is it okay? Machiavelli of India. It's fine. It's okay. Machiavelli of India. So these are some basic things. Clear? Everything is fine? I said statecraft is related to your polity. Statecraft, public administration, these all are on polity. Okay? But you should not say polity. If you are preparing for UPSC, use the specific words or the appropriate words. Polity is also included in the statecraft or in the public administration. But it is not only the polity. It's more than that. Because polity talks about the system. What is the polity? What is polity? Okay? It is the practical aspect of the constitution. But when I talk about the statecraft, it also includes the polity and the other aspects, like qualification of the kings. Right now? Is it fine? So it's more than that. It's not only the polity. It includes statecraft and the public administration. Okay, Harshita? Okay. Now, chalo. Now, next point. This book is divided into. This book is Arthashastra is divided into adhikarans. 15 adhikarans divided into Arthashastra divided into 15 adhikarans. 15 adhikarans. This is called the chapters or a book. You can say chapter or book within book, right? Something like chapter or book, right? So you can say this is called the 15 adhikarans, right? So there are 15 adhikarans. That is called 15 chapters. If I talk about these adhikarans. If I talk about these adhikarans, so madam, 15 adhikarans, right? If I talk about the 15 adhikarans, right? It can be divided in 3 parts. One is called avapa, other is called tantra, and then is called your miscellaneous chapters. So one is called, it can be divided into 3 parts. One is called tantra. Then second one is your avapa, right? Avapa. Is it okay? Avapa. Tantra. So the first 5 chapters. First 5 adhikarans or chapters. First 5 adhikarans are called tantra. And this is called tantra. And it is on internal administration. The tantras are on internal administration, which is on internal administration. Internal administration. Internal administration. Right? Internal administration. On internal administration. Is it okay? Internal administration. Is it fine? So it is on internal administration. Right? Next. 6 to 13th chapter. 6 to 13 chapters. 6 to 13 chapter. 6 to 13. Adhikarans. 6 to 13 adhikarans are called. This is called bar. Are called avapa. Is it okay? Called avapa. Right? And this is on interstate relation. These avapas are on. This is on interstate relation. This is on interstate relation. This is on interstate relation. Interstate relation. Is it okay? It was on interstate relation. Interstate relation. Is it okay? Interstate relation. Right, so madam? Interstate relation. So it is on interstate relation. Is it okay? Interstate relations. So now, Adhyat Arthashastra is divided into the 15 adhikarans. That is called chapters. Chapters, right? Chapters or books. That is called tantra. Other one is called avapa. First 5 chapters or adhikarandas are known as tantras. And it is on internal administration. Whereas avapa, 6 to 13 adhikarans are called avapa. And this is on internal relation, interstate relations. Is it okay? Interstate relations. Now there are 2 more chapters is left. Yes or no? Yes. There are 2 more chapters out of 15 is left to be discussed, right? So if I talk about the next two chapters. The first one Tantra, second one is your Avapa. The third one is, sir, madam, the third chapter is yours. Is on miscellaneous chapters. Miscellaneous chapters. Miscellaneous chapters. Or miscellaneous chapters. Is it okay? Miscellaneous chapters. Is it fine? It is miscellaneous chapter. Okay? Miscellaneous chapter. That includes too many aspects, right? So now we got the structure of Arthashastra. What is the structure of Arthashastra? Arthashastra is consisted of 15 chapters or adhikarans. These are Tantras, Avapas, and then is your miscellaneous chapters. If I talk about Tantra, what is Tantra in the Arthashastra? This is called the chapters that is dedicated on internal administration. Internal administration. And when we talk about the Avapas, that is 6 to 13 chapters. There's a certain chapter that is on your interstate relation. That's what we understand today as the foreign relationship, right? International relations. Is it okay? And then the next two chapters are covering the different topics. That is your miscellaneous topics. Is it fine, sir, madam? It's okay? Clear, everything is fine, sir? Clear, everything is okay? Hi to all. Clear, things are okay? It's only Neha, otherwise, बाकी लोग किधर हैं? Okay, Harshita. Chalo, now. So this is the structure now about the Arthashastra. Inside the Arthashastra. Content of Arthashastra. Arthashastras. Arthashastra. Shastra. This is your content. What is the content? Sasana. Content. Arthashastra content. Right? Arthashastra content. Now, see here. If I talk about the Arthashastra, let's call the content. Right? If I talk about this, Arthashastra's content. For the first time, the term state was defined. 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 State was defined. Was defined. Was defined. Is it okay? Term state was defined. It's okay? It's okay. Now the question is, what is the definition of the state? So this term state is defined along the first thing is here. The definition is along the modern definition of a state. Along the modern definition of a state. Modern definition of the state. Of the state. Modern definition of the state. It was along the modern definition of the state. How the state is defined, right, sir, madam? How the state is defined for the first time, right? Australia are defined. The term state was defined for the first time. Definition is along the modern definition of the state. And while defining, the term state, Kautilya had defined the functions of state, of a state, of a functions of a state, of a state, functions of a state. Is it okay? Functions of a state. Number one. If I talk about the first one, first, what is the function of the state? If I talk about number one, protection, maintenance, protection. I will tell you what more. Then maintenance, protection, maintenance, preservation, right? Preservation. Promotion, right? If I talk about the section, if I talk about the maintenance, if I talk about the preservation, promotion. Right, sir, madam? So if I talk about the protection of what? People and the state. Protection of people and state. That is called territory. Territory. Right? Maintenance. If I talk about the maintenance of law and order. Right? If I talk about the preservation, it simply means the preservation of the social order. Preservation of the social order. And then promotion of the welfare of public. Is it okay? Welfare of public. Is it okay? So protection, maintenance, preservation, and then promotion of the people, be it spiritual or else, right? So it was the function of the state. So if you look into the function of the state, so madam, functions of the state, right? If I talk about the functions of the state, okay, right? So what are the functions of the state, so madam? Functions of the state. Functions of the state. So these are the functions, so madam. So these are the functions. Is it okay? Are you getting me? The function of the states are defined. Okay? Then Cordelia, is it okay? All okay, sir, madam? So now we have talked about the functions of a state. Now we need to talk about the components of the state as well. Is it okay? That's fine. Hi to all. So we talked about the functions of the state. First time. Now, it's all fine. Now coming to the other aspect of the state. Now what are the different elements of the state? Elements of the state. Elements of the state. Elements of the state. Elements of the state. Of the state. Elements of the state. Elements of the state. Is it okay? Elements of the state, sir, madam. Elements of the state. Of the state. Elements of the state. Elements of the state. देखो. What is smooth function of a state? Shastra. Kautilya. Kautilya considers certain essential components or elements, certain essential elements for the smooth functioning of a state, or the smooth functioning of the state, smooth functioning of the state, and without those elements, state cannot function properly. Without these elements, a state cannot function. Function effectively or smoothly. Function smoothly and effectively. Right? Effectively. Is it okay? Cannot function smoothly and effectively. Right? And it is explained by is Sapt Prakriti Siddhant or 7-organ theory of a state. Is it okay? Of state. Sapt Prakriti Siddhant or organ theory of state. Is it okay? Of state. What are these 7 different organs of the state? What are these different organs of the state? Let me discuss that also. So one is what are the 7 organs? The 7 organs are number 1, Sir Madam. Number 1, that is called Swami. Number 2, Swami. It's called Janpat. Swami. And it's better to write first Amatya. Then Janpad. Janpada. Then is Durg. then Kosh, 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 then is Danda, and finally we have Mitra. So, Patanjali in a nutshell says that we need to have these 7 organs. One is called your Swami, other one is your Amartya, next one is your Janpada, then is your Durga, then is Kosh, then is Dand and Mitra. In absence of any of these elements, any of these 7 elements, state cannot run smoothly. It will be very difficult to manage the state. State cannot run smoothly and effectively, right? Is it okay? And effectively. So Swami means king. Swami means king. It is called king. King. It's called king. Is it okay? Swami means king. If I talk about Amartya, this Amartya is king. This Amartya is Council of Ministers. Council of Ministers. Council of Ministers. Council of Ministers. Of Ministers. Council of Ministers. Council of Ministers. Is it okay? This is your Council of Ministers. Is it fine? If I talk about Janpad, it is your territory. Territory. Durg, that is called fort. Fort, right? Next is your fort. Fort. Next is your fort. Is it okay? So this is your fort. So one is your Sasamadam, that is called king. This is called Council of Ministers. This is your territory. This is your fort, right? And then is your Kosh, that is called revenue. Revenue. Or this is called your fund. Fund. Is it okay? So this is your fund. That's fine. Then is your Dand. Dand is your army. This is your army. Army. And then is your, again, Mitra, that is your friend. Friend. Right? That is your friend. Right, Sasamadam? So this is called revenue or your fund. This is called your army. This is your friend, Sasamadam. Is it okay? Is it fine? So these are 7 organs of the state. In absence of any of these 7 states, a state cannot run smoothly. Smoothly, right? Is it okay? It's fine. Once it was a question asked in, I hope this was in defense. In any of the exams of the defense, be it your CAPF or in both CDS and CAPF, this was the question. What are the 7 organ theory? And it is not a part of the 7 organ theory, Sasamadam. Is it okay? It's okay. Friend means your spies. Friend means the neighboring country who is the enemy of your enemy. Okay? Friends with another states. Till you things are okay? No. One more theory is given inside the Arthashastra, and that is known as Mandala theory. We need not discuss in detail because it is for political science, but we must have the idea what exactly is inside the Mandala theory. That may make a question for your prelims. What exactly is the Mandala theory? It's okay? Chalo. So now, elements of the state, that is Prakriti Siddhant, that is the 7 organ theory of the state that is given. Now there is what? That is another theory, that is called Mandala theory. Mandala theory. Mandala theory. Arthashastra also speaks about the Mandala theory. Arthashastra. Also speaks about Mandala theory. Also speaks about Mandala theory, Sasamadam. Also speaks about Mandala theory. Mandala theory. Mandala theory. Mandala theory. Mandala theory. What is this Mandala theory, Sasamadam? This theory defines the relationship of two states, defines the relationship of 2 states, right? Defines the relationship of 2 states. 2 states. Is it okay? Defines the relationship of 2 states. Is it okay? Okay, these are 2 states. 2 states. It is a very dynamic concept. It is very dynamic concept. It is very dynamic concept. It is a 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 very dynamic concept. Right? It is a very dynamic concept. It is not a moralistic or idealist concept. It is not. It is not. It is not. It is not an idealist idealistic and moralistic concept. Moralistic concept. Not an idealistic and moralistic concept. Unmoralistic concept, right? It is not an idealistic or moralistic concept. Is it okay? Concept. It's okay. Done. Concept. A very dynamic concept. It is not an idealistic and moralistic concept. Why it is called it is not an idealistic and moralistic concept? So, Simon, can you please tell me? Because this theory changes with the circumstances. Because this theory changes with time. And what changes in time? That is your power. With time. What changes with time? Power. Self-interest. And geography. So these are things, madam. And geography. So power, self-interest, and what I said, geography. Now, you can understand in very modern concept. If the power changes, your relationship changes in an individual's life. You must have seen the people praise or worships the rising sun. The same person, if its sun sets, nobody worships him. The people worship those who is the rising sun. Everyone is behind that rising sun, madam, right? Everyone is behind that rising sun, right? So with the change in the power dynamics in international relation or in the geopolitical condition, that also changes or that also influences the relationship between one state and another state. Then again, you can say the importance of self-interest in the global context. You can see this self-interest. What happens in the WTO, the World Trade Organization? What happens in the United Nations Organization? What happens in the too many climatic platforms and climatic conferences are conducting, but none of the country is leaving its own interest, that is national self-interest, right? So nobody is going against its national self-interest. Any of the developed countries or the big power never ever try to go against their self-interest. Just take an example of be it your United States of America, be it your Russia, or be it your China. Who the power is not going against their self-interest. Now the geography. So according to the geography, if there is a geography that is supporting to one power or two, and that is against your interest, then you also changes your international relations, right? International relationship with the other state, right? So the power is keep on changing. That is a very dynamic concept. With the change of the power dynamics, your relationship also gets changes. With the change of your self-interest with respect to the time, right? There was a time when our interest was very much tied with the Russia. So we were very much we were good friends in the past. But now our interest is multi-dimensional, that is multi-pronged. So it is not only the Russia with which we have to express our dependency solely, that we have to express our relationship with other countries as well. So is the geography. So with the change of the geography, power and self-interest, your relationship with other country also gets changed. So this is now you can understand how much it is practical or pragmatic in the modern times as well. Because these things are very much effective and very much even relevant in the modern times. So, ma'am, are you getting me? So this is the thing that you can understand. Mandala theory that is related to that defines the relationship of the two states. It's a very dynamic concept. It's not an idealistic and moralistic concept because the theory changes with time and time changes with the time. What changes? The power changes, self-interest changes, and the geography changes. I believe it would be okay to all of you. So, ma'am. Is it clear? Sir and madam. Understood well? All well, sir and ma'am? हम लोग दिल की बातें आजकल नहीं करते. दिल गार्डन वो अच्छा लग रहा है. Okay, such an enriched content. You can get the question directly from this kind of in any exam that is not related to your civil services, maybe for CDS, CAPF, or your state teachers or your UPSC. Okay. So sometimes we should go for the dil ki baatein also. Yes sir, enjoy. Okay sir. Yes sir. Yes sir. Okay. Yeah. Dil garden हो गया. Okay, that's my feel. That's my word. Okay, that's great. That's why they say मेरी मिली मुझे से मैं आऊँ. Dil garden हो गया. अच्छा है. That's good. Really good. Thank you Neha. Thank you. Okay, sure. Now coming to the other aspects, what else are inside the Arthashastra? So let me discuss that. So see. What is right? wait for some help.